2 weeks ago, we ran an experiment to find out if you could tell if we have edited a photo. So we selected 5 photos and went to Facebook and put a poll to this, and here is the result. You'll be fascinated with the result. This is the first photo. It's Adam. Adam is a real model. And this photo wasn't edited in any way. So how many people say this photo is edited? 5. We had 25 people responding to this poll. 5 people thought this photo is edited. So Adam, if you're watching this, you have an edited face, naturally. And then look at this photo. This is Tiffany. Tiffany had 4 people thinking that she was edited. But this photo wasn't edited in any way. And then we have this photo. This photo though is edited. This is how it looks like originally. And this is what my editor did to her. So how many people thought this is edited? 7 people thought this is edited. Not too bad. But my question is that you may be fascinated, but what happened to the other first 2 pictures? You thought it was edited too. So 7, alright, but kind of obvious. If you look at the shadow, well, now take a look at this photo. This photo is not edited. And how many people said it's edited? 6 people thought it's edited. It's not edited, and 6 people thought it's edited. And finally, this photo. How many people thought it's edited? 4. This photo is epically edited. This is how it looks like originally. So the research done by Adobe was true. You know, it says that 53.5% of humans can effectively detect. That means 40% of people still cannot detect if the photo is edited. And out of these 25 people who responded to this poll, and our requirement is that you need to spot all the edited pictures correctly, and only one person won. Siddharth Kapil. You are the only person that successfully detected that photo 1 and 2 is not edited, and photo 4 is not edited, and photo 3 and 5 is edited. Well done. You are an AI. And for that, we want to reward you. Head on to our e-learning website. Choose any course that you want. It can be any of our ordinary course or masterclass. Send an email to us. It's yours. Thank you. If I were you, Mr. Kapil, you might want to go see a doctor because you think like a computer. Oh, hey, this is called iVREC. It's a clip-on camera that allows you to bring it anywhere, and what's interesting is that it's made by Canon. It's not available yet because Canon decided to bring this to Indiegogo and crowdfund this, which means that a big brand like Canon is saying that, well, if I see a lot of people paying us money, we're gonna make this camera. Interesting, because Canon is such a huge brand. I'm not sure if they're trying to tell us they don't have the money to do it, but it's an interesting aspect of how business is done now. Because I can tell you, Canon is not the first brand that bring an idea to crowdfunding and see how successful it is before they make that product. Well, I know, look at the comments here. A lot of people are going like, really? Canon, are you really doing that? You know, you're such a big company, don't you have the money to just go out and make a product? Well, if you ask me, I think it's a smart move. Because as photographers, let's look at this. I think the bring home point is that if you're a photographer and then you want to make an epic photography journey of going from one end of the Silk Road to another end of the Silk Road, and you don't have the bloody money to do this, and you want to make a photo book to document this whole adventure, lo and behold, you have crowdfunding now. Just map it all out. Take some fake nice pictures. Are those pictures that we see of iVREC fake? Well, maybe 3D model. Get it out there. So in the world of, well, I can honestly tell you, when it comes to Kickstarter and Indiegogo, I think a lot of you have given up because there are too many people not delivering. But when big brands go in, you feel more secure now because you know that they can kick it off well. That's the big difference. That's the bring home point. It's not about big brands stooping so low to get crowdfunding to launch a product, but if it gets launched, you know they'll back it up. You know, there are a lot of brands out there that started and wanted to do this wireless earbuds, and then they collected 2-3 million and money burned. But if Canon were to do this, they cannot afford to do this. So if you ask me, guys, don't you agree this is a good thing, right? We can see how successful. You can now have a user base. You can look at the user base. You can look like, oh, Jay bought this, Ella bought this, Lucas bought this. Oh, hell, I can buy. You know what? If Jay and Ella and Lucas buying it in the company, I don't need to buy this. I can borrow from them. Oh, getting paid. Creative professionals suffer of not getting their payment. I'm coming to this big issue of corporate bullying, of you not getting your payment as a creative professionals. You do your work and then these companies just drag your payment. We are doing a separate episode of this on our LiveView soon. You do not want to miss this episode. But before that, this all comes about because there's this influencer. She's got 55,000 followers on Instagram, right? And she goes to this photographer saying that, hey, I'm getting married. But she doesn't do it personally. She got her agent to do it. Is it Melissa? Well, I'm not questioning the authenticity of this email and this photographer. And the thing is that this Melissa is writing on behalf of this influencer, sort of like demanding for a free wedding shoot. 55,000. Well, you know what? We have 125,000 good followers like you on our YouTube channel. I demand fried chicken. Okay, doesn't work. So, well, I guess is this. You know, it's not about you going forward to someone and say, I deserve this. That very deserving attitude of the generation that we have nowadays. It's about paying. You know, if I were to get a videographer to shoot me, regardless whether how famous I am or how good a photographer I am, I would pay because you are shooting me. That's because I value your work. But how you pay is another form altogether. I can wash your car, right, Jay? That's a payment. I can feed your dog. That's okay. Ella, stop laughing. Well, I think this is not the first time, and it will definitely not be the last time where people ask for free creative services from photographers or designer or logo makers. But if you are ever on the receiving end of people coming up to you and asking you to do things for free or exposure, I've got a perfect reply that you can give them. It's called, I appreciate the opportunity, but I must politely decline. Try that, it works. Do not go around using your numbers to get free services. It doesn't work. But what interests me more, guys, is that getting paid for work that's due. Because I suspect there's this big, crazy, embarrassing phenomenon going now around the world, is that this corporate bullying of organizations getting their photo shoot, getting their video shoot, getting all the creative services, but then they are dragging their payment legally just because they are big enough to get away with this. And when you are a small company, especially if you're 1 or 2 person studio photographer, you're gonna suffer because they're gonna wear you out. We're gonna dedicate another episode on this about corporate bullying when it comes to payment. We'd like to hear your thoughts. We'd like to hear your experiences. Write to us, info@beyond.photos, or head on to the comment section. This is a serious thing because as an organization, we are going through that. And I know some of you watching this video, you owe us money. No. Yep. You might want to pay up before I do this episode. Seriously, guys, let's do this. I'll see you in the next LiveView episode. Thank you. And only one person won. What's the name? You don't even need to explain why you decline it. Just leave group. Leave group. Yeah, leave the chat group. Yeah, I learned that today. You might want to pay up before I do this episode. Seriously, guys, let's do this.
I'm leaving the group.
You're leaving the group?
That's an inside joke.
It's not a joke.